There's no audio coming through. We can't hear a thing.
One, two, three, four, five.
Okay, we heard you count, Brittany.
Thank you.
All right, we're back on. And
Okay,
that,
thank you.
all right, Michael, you were telling us.
The retaining area around the playground has been taken care of. That's done. We'd like to make a suggestion that we start looking at some different playground equipment. To go over there, the stuff we have is like for toddlers. We might want to get something a little bit more for teens somewhere in, we do have the swings, but that's it. So, I think we should, and we have on the back side towards the backside of the tennis court on the right-hand side, we do have room there for, we used to have seesaws in there years ago when Alana played on them. They rusted out and we had to remove them a couple of years ago, so we never replaced it. So it's something we should probably. We've had a lot of growing pains at the pool this year, which is great to see. It's very active over there. We obviously trying to please everybody. We've had several hoop issues that have been trying. We've had 3 so far. One was the child, the other were, it's not always the children. The gate between the pool and the beach, we've had a lot of questions to open that. There are 2 reasons we don't really open that. We did open it during 4th of July, fireworks, so people could get back and forth. But the beach, yeah, security isn't controlling the entrance or staff isn't controlling that entrance. You have to come into the pool, you have to come to the pool building. The beach area, we're all courteous to our neighbors, so if, if their pass isn't working for a reason, but they ask Michael, can you let me in because my pass isn't working? So then they get up into the pool and we have issues with everybody knows they haven't paid their dues and then we get inundated here. The other is the sand from the beach. The sand from the beach ends up in the pool. We do have a little bit of a sand problem now with it blowing up through there. So that's the other reason. I don't know how however you guys want to handle it, that's how we'll handle it. That's how we're handle it. What?
That was free.
Oh, what's your name?
Am I interrupting?
No, you're not.
2 things that we need to go over. One is the management recommendation on lap lane usage, and then the second is from the strategic planning and finance committee that first introduced, but on the lap lane, Michael, you want to just tee that up? Then we see if there's any discussion around the board about ultimately where
Well, we've been having problems with the lap lanes, where people doing laps, there's kids splashing, jumping, in the pool, as they're doing laps, and they're splashing or jumping in the same lane, and of course, the staff has been trying to address that. But we used to have lap times. And the lap times were certain times of the day where you were exclusive for doing laps. And other times of the day, the lanes were shared. So the thought was, we're looking around to see again what the local pools are doing. We thought about having lap times from 10 in the morning to 12 in the afternoon when the pool opens. And then in the evening, we wanted to do 7 to 8. The pool chairman, pool committee chair thought it would be better to do 6. So that's the times we went with. During these times, the off times, you would still have one lap lane in the pool all day, the one closest to the building. We would remove the center lane, so there would be more of the pool open, still one lap lane left for general laps, if you didn't mind getting splashed while you were swimming.
So does that reduce the conflict though, to have that existing lap lane there still? I mean, we could try to use that during the day and have the same problem.
I thought we just, it spoke with Brittany and Anthony and the pool staff over there. We kind of felt that we could probably deal with that one a little bit easier than having them.
Morning.
Any questions?
I just want to clarify. There's 3 ropes now or 2 ropes?
3.
3. You're taking 1 rope out so that the people can then swim the laps in the one without rope. So it's essentially like a widened lane and they can. Is it, you say the word exclusive, does that mean if nobody is swimming laps, just nobody's able to enter that spot?
If nobody's swimming laps, obviously,
So-
we're not gonna, during those times, we won't remove it'll be like it is now, the lap lanes are in there. But we're not gonna say you have to get out of there if you're swimming.
Okay, so it's.
If nobody's
They're
swimming
there.
laps.
Okay.
But to piggyback on mine, I don't. Can't listen, I just look at if there are some folks over there aren't doing their laps. Are they then removed when someone comes and wants to do their lap?
Yes, they're out of that lane.
Yeah.
Okay.
But not out of the deep area.
Yeah.
So when the lane is in use by the lap swimmer, there's.
Orange.
And they're a good deterrent, so.
And then it's an easy marker.
In
It's
there.
easy marker.
Okay.
Good idea.
Have a sign as when people are there doing it.
And then the last question is, and we've all talked about this before. When someone does infract, how is that enforced? Is it enforced? What's the line that you can and can't draw? You're in my lane, okay, so what's someone gonna do?
Look,
It's just that I noticed, I know I just came, is this not regular order?
yeah.
Yeah, you're
We're
right.
just doing our business. Thanks. I know that seems weird in another room, but, well,
It's Denise Luckman.
well, thank you. I think, Earl, to answer your question, I think, look, shared space, people gotta figure out how to get, I don't know, police every minor infraction or whatever, but
Do we need
What-
people lap lanes all the time?
Well, that's what
That's what we're saying.
They really.
If you open it up like you do, and you should.
Do we really
saying no.
need people that do lap? There are people that do lap.
I don't see it consistently.
yeah, I think that's why the lap times make good sense. And look, we'll try it.
It doesn't work.
I think management's come up with a solution, no problem.
On top of that, when it, obviously the last things would be when,
So,
Water.
Water.
Right,
so the one problem with that, when the lap lane, the deep section of the pool, when the lap lane is installed, you're leaving one lane there. The depth marker stays at
Yes.
the elder.
Yep. Makes
If
sense.
we take that lap lane out, get rid of them all for the day, then there has to be
Agreed.
across the deep area. So basically, that rope has to move to the deep area, go across.
Is there a hookup?
Huh?
There's a hookup for it?
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
oh, yeah. It's there.
okay, so
Visit.
there we go. All right. Next, Chris will introduce this item. So out of the strategic planning and finance committee, with some capital items that we want to address.
Do we have to vote on what he did or no?
No.
Good.
Management issue.
So the pitch today is for the board to authorize $25,000 in spending to help secure the Greenway. Greenway, we have voted as a board to call the golf course the Greenway, to call it the Greenway. So, and this money, this $25,000 already exists. It was allocated in the original golf course assessment when that assessment was done. That $25,000 was aimed to do exactly this. It was created to provide capital improvements to the golf course. So there's two pieces to this authorization. The first is $2,000 to buy security cameras. Michael looked into outdoor cameras, and I've also talked with the rep at this company. So the $2,000 will cover four security cameras. These have long battery life. They also have a solar panel attached to them to extend the battery life. The $2,000 will also cover the first year of data plans for the app. It works much like Ring for those of you who are on security. Management will figure out the implementation. Basically, the cameras, when you install the cameras and buy an app, the cameras are motion activated. They send updates to Michael. At the top line, if you pay annually, each camera. All right.
He doesn't like the cameras.
Each camera, the camera at 250 a pop, and the data plan when you pay up front are $18 per camera per month. So
How much per month?
18 when you pay up front. So it's so $2,000 all in for the authorization, plus signage to indicate to visitors to the golf course that there is visitor surveillance. You can buy these for $350 a pop, I believe. So $2,000 allocated for 4 security cameras. The remaining $23,000 authorization is a proposal that a previous board already approved. We are approving an updated quote on this. So in 2022, the board authorized or approved a quote from Ketchum Fencing for 4 sections of fencing along Lake Louise Marie Road, Wolf Lake Road, and along both sides of Lakeshore Drive. These will be split rail fences. They include gates to allow emergency vehicle access, and Ketchum will provide 2 3-foot pedestrian openings on either side of Lakeshore Drive to allow people to access the golf course, which is what we want. So this allows emergency access, it allows pedestrian access, but it also secures the main kind of open areas where there's no tree line. We're not securing a CIA facility here, but this will provide some meaningful deterrent and I think indicate kind of that HPO is taking care of the property, and I think it also responds to the concerns that members raised at the last meeting. Again, when the board voted on this in 2022, it was for $18,000 and change. Following the strategic planning meeting this week, I got Michael, and Michael got an updated quote from Ketchum the next day. And Michael's indicated that if we approve this today and we book it with Ketchum, that they will be able to start working. So by the fall, we will have the capital cameras and fencing in place to secure this property.
What areas did you say were the ones that would be covered?
There's 4 sections of fencing: Lake Louise Marie Road, Wolf Lake Road, and both sides of Lakeshore Drive East extended, right near where Lakeshore Drive extended meets Wolf Lake Road. And those will also be the main pedestrian access points to the property. In talking with Michael and Anthony, they're also going to, I think, have Ketchum set the fencing back from the road. There's some flat open area. Where if this is not part of today's authorization, but if at some point we wanted to lay down some gravel to create parking for members there, the fencing would be set back far enough to allow that. And the fencing will run from kind of tree line to tree line such that it makes it more difficult for.
ATVs and such.
Exactly.
Great idea. Though. Question, from a maintenance perspective, there's garbage cans. Is that factored into that? Like, cause it's having a conversation with my neighbor, and they are loving the idea there. But there's the concerns of if there's not for containment of garbage, people are walking there, how do we start addressing that? Because then that brings bears. Is that something that you're factoring into that budget, that we're making sure we put in place the right percentage?
So there's two pieces with rubbish. First of all, on the old Sackets of the golf course, there is significant amounts of construction rubbish. And I think it's going to require a community cleanup and the rental of some kind of junk trailer to get that stuff out. As somebody who's willing to put in that work, I'm not willing to put in that work before we have gates there, because that means something won't come right back in and dump more stuff. So this is the first step to improving the property, is securing the property. So that's the big problem. I think with the $25,000 authorization, we certainly could throw in a couple trash cans at the.
Yeah, that's all I have.
Is that a maintenance issue?
Yeah, it's very cool.
So the $25,000.
And I don't know how much bear cans cost, it's not the same thing I have at my house, and so I would just wanted to take consideration. How many links we'd have to go, every X amount of people, we have a bear can and have proper signage.
Well, we could make, some, first, I'm not trying to cut Crystal or anything, but if we're gonna put the fencing in place,
Mhm.
On the fencing, we can put some sort of signage.
Yeah.
Most hiking trails require that take back. Yeah, so we would really only need one or two cans, literally at that point.
At the entrance point.
Yeah,
So,
And then we're not even open yet, so.
and I think the 25,000, it gives a little bit of leeway to Michael, so that the 25,000 will allow him to purchase those kind of finishing touches that will kind of make it.
Don't forget to poop, guys.
Don't poop.
Well, they'll, the cans are a great idea. One of the problems we've been having is that we have not only the bear, but the bear are getting into them because people are throwing us into the cans. We did it at the pool. The cans that are in the parking lot over on Lake Shore Drive West, those cans also. So that's some of the reasons why some of the cans are going in the community. We just have the dog waste containers, which people do throw, soda bottles and garbage, little bit of garbage. Problem with the big cans is we end up with some. So it will work.
See if that could work.
Mhm.
Then if it doesn't, then we. Plan B.
We still need to have some. Well, that's a logistic thing we'll do.
I motion to approve.
Second and third.
Motion.
I motion to approve.
Joel second. All in favor? I think you're online. If you want to unmute, that's fine. Anyone opposed? Any recusals, any abstentions? Hearing none, the motion passed.
Do you have a problem with pizza boxes at the pool where people throw pizza parties and then just leave the boxes or?
I mean, they're in the cans, but that's usually, you would expect that. You wouldn't expect, the end car.
Take
Anything else for Michael?
I have one thing about management. The new cardio equipment is coming in on Friday. So
The new what?
cardio equipment,
Oh, cool.
so that'll get delivered on. Friday.
Reminder what we're getting.
You the big guy.
What are we getting?
Yes, they're swapping out. the old lease with new cardio. That's right. That was the benefit that we got. Does that mean that the fitness center will be off limits for out of service for some period of time?
Probably for a certain time, they've got I think it's a 3-hour window, they've got a. So I think, closer to Friday, they'll probably shorten their estimate, so we can get an email out on Thursday.
Great.
And we'll keep the equipment at the pool. They didn't replace
They
that.
should replace the lease. The lease we've voted to renew should cover replacing the equipment at the pool as well, which hopefully they will not forget. So, yeah,
Okay.
that's all.
So,
You got one more.
one more thing.
We've, installed some, shade triangles, at the pickleball courts, because that is, very active. One of the complaints over there were not enough shade area. We did install that was installed last week, and it's not working because it's in the sides. And it has to be in the center, so we're gonna have to find something that, will be able to work. We can't just put an umbrella out there because we tried that in the tennis court, they end up being left open, blown, and they only make a few gates. So I'm not sure what we're gonna do. I'm gonna speak to Gerald Ketchum about it, what he's seen in the past.
So I've seen where they took those shades and put them on the outside and then just put like posts in the ground, did it that way on the outside.
Cool. And you're a pickler.
You know, that's why I had to take it down. This thing's mine's
Different times of the day, but anyway, I'm apparently, because I had suggested putting the gazebo. Because nobody's really using the gazebo over here, we're getting another gazebo, and I guess they like to be on the court.
I like those on, so that's when it's.
I thought that was,
Yeah, but if you put that right next to, or in the middle, but right next to the fence there.
kind of like the left. Just bringing it to your attention, so you know what's. And I do have, something for executive session.
Okay.
Something that.
Generally recap, we've got trail cams, fencing coming to the greenway, get that all fixed up, the lap lanes are gonna be handled by management, and we'll move on.
and the, their plan or anything about cleaning up the gazebo?
We are starting over here on, we just got the trailers here, and then, yes. The answer is, we're gonna start getting the landscaping and things done over here. In-house,
Like there was some, dead birds in there.
okay. Huh? The containers, because we got another container and that ended up sitting here for 2 weeks. So,
Speaking of the greenway, didn't you brush hog it? So people come up. I mean, I saw it happen, so good announcement.
yeah, it was, the greenway was mowed. It'll probably get its second time, beginning of April. Yeah, April's a good time. Beginning of August. And we'll also get out there to Lake Louise is rebuilding the other ones and do a better job where they're installing the fence. And it's not a split rail fence, it's a 3-rail corral.
Metal or wood?
All right,
Think of it.
thank you. Let's move on to the financial review. Board members, sorry, we had a heck of a time, the size of the attachment, I think, and Dan being able to get it to everybody, so we printed a copy. You folks want a couple minutes to look it over before Dan summarizes, or we want to do that at the same time, maybe?
All right, so currently we have $2,667,000 remaining on the project loan. According to the accountant and some review, looks like we received full funding, for the payment on the home that we, obtained on, North Emerald. It was roughly 190,000. We received a pretty big lump sum for a foreclosure. Action that we got back on, income, we were 33,000 versus a budget of 19,000. A lot of that was, about $9,000 worth of late fees and additional fees that we, received last month. Biggest question that I have is, I sent an email to Michael, I put on the board. The difference between the accounting, on last month versus this month, when you add the two expenses together, it does not equal what is listed as our year-to-date figures. It's off by $18,966. So I'm just looking for some clarification on, why or what, because the two numbers don't add up. Violations, Michael, I know that. So,
To that question that was asked, we all know about you looking to get him to respond now, or we'll give.
no.
No, I just got it.
That's what I'm saying.
No, I just got it.
Yeah, I know the answer, I just wanted to make sure.
We've been talking since Friday about this,
Yep.
and, we have not been able to figure out what the solution is.
Yep.
The other question was regarding the, violations on the age receivables. The prior month was $296,998, this month's was $296,998. We did receive from those three properties. I would imagine that those numbers would have went down, but they didn't. So,
Well, this is June.
right, but one of them was from May, when the prior one.
Well, the 90 North Emerald. Don't believe they backed all of it. Because we weren't finished paying for all of the repairs that were done on. So you'll probably see that this month's statement for financials on beyond July.
Yeah, there's three homes in particular that I put in the emails.
Okay.
So, when we kind of get some answers on that, I feel.
Like you got 90 Emerald for the other two?
Should we table 120?
I don't wanna, another address.
Well, there was 90 North. And there was 120 Lakeshore Drive East, that just ends up being a circle.
So we kind of put that out there, that information, I think, for the community, maybe we can just explain the 120 east piece of it, because
It's a good thing.
it's a good thing and a great job, and you should take a little bit of a victory there.
So 120 Lakeshore Drive East was a foreclosure property. What they did with the foreclosure, instead of doing a action, and this was back during close to the pandemic, doing an actual foreclosure, they did a deed in lieu of foreclosure. So what happens with a foreclosure, the association is wiped out on the foreclosure, we don't have to. But our deed restrictions specifically say that the debt transfers with the property. So when you do a deed in lieu of foreclosure, we had the debt transfers with the property, the bank ends up with the debt because they didn't go through the proper foreclosure. On the bank side, I think they call that deed for keys or keys for deed or something like that, so it's quick. This has been going on for 3 years. So we did have a prospective buyer, really don't walk too far into this, a prospective buyer that wanted to negotiate a settlement. And he had offered, they had offered a very sizable settlement that the board did approve. And then the board last month left it into my hands to take care of it because it's still the bank's responsibility. You didn't do your due diligence. it's your responsibility to pay this. So it ended up, 2 weeks after the board meeting, I received a email from the bank. They wanted to know an update on the account, gave them an update on the account. The next day, I had a wire for $120,000.
Representing a 100% recovery, so. Good job. All right,
And the buyers, very happy they didn't have to pay an extra.
$40,000 in their pocket. Very.
So, Mike,
that's a big chunk of relating to the other counts.
yeah, I was just wondering if, so now we're gonna wait next month and those should come off of the violations on the accounts.
Yeah, because that's gonna, it'd be a next, because we took the money in July, so.
So I was more pertaining to the other one. There was two others that want, and that's why I put them in the email, but
Okay.
we'll,
Yeah, we can just pick.
Well, 90 North Emerald, that just is a matter of cleaning up, on, with the, closing statement, and we had to pay all the final bills, and we just did that.
okay.
I'm not sure which is the other one you would.
We'll figure it out. We're drawing down the.
I would just ask that we, partner up and figure out where the 18,000 difference is. And was there any questions regarding the financial statements here?
So I make a motion that the $160,000. $20,000. Here that we open up a separate bank account, we put that money in that account. And we know it's there.
Can we take that to executive session?
Yeah, I think we want.
Yeah, no problem.
Sorry,
Well,
what's the rationale for moving that? Now,
I don't know.
I'm done, I'm supporting this. Why would this be moved into executive session?
I mean, one, we still need this whole thing about Emerald Green, 90 Emerald still needs to be resolved.
No, we got
That's
that.
still, but there's still some things that need to be settled on.
I mean, I think it's. I guess I'm raising this as a point of order. We can discuss those things separate. This is a motion that when we receive those monies, that they might be moved into a separate account. I think that's a legitimate thing to discuss.
It is a legitimate thing to discuss, but, there's one reason, the only reason why I would abstain from that is the interest. The more funds we have in our cash management account, we do get interest, so that would be.
Well, to that point, this month, I also, you should have seen a little bit on this month, we went from 0.05, and I got them to 2%.
So maybe what we might want to do is open up a Fidelity account and probably.
If we wait until
So,
next month,
yeah.
we see when everything, whatever.
Yeah, but
I'm not against it, I'm just saying that would be the only.
the only, it's still part of your, it's part of this year's budget because it's a surplus.
Don't understand, but what I'm saying is with fund balances, things are different. Let's just say that. Whereas this, I know, put that money in that bank account. Bank account's not, look at that number. It's a number. I can see that number show up on the balance sheet, there's no up. And I'm not saying we can't spend the money. If Michael needs money that we can pull out of that budget, we can.
And this is your guys. So I just push it right. What's the difference?
Because then it doesn't get pushed around. It's in there and it's there.
It's locked, it's
clear.
So the motion has been made, seconded, but I just want to clarify, is it for just these two
Yes.
pieces, or you want to describe how that, like if there's another one in the future?
I would put another,
we want to put a recovery account.
Well, I believe if we look back further, and I think you ought to discuss this next month, because now that we're talking about, isn't that the violation supposed to go to,
Yes,
let's,
if you want, we can take that part to executive section if you want. I'm just making a motion, so.
For those two amounts, the
Yeah.
segregated, all right, so the motion is limited to those two recovery amounts, the 190 and the 20 approximately. To be placed in a segregated account linked through at Wayne Bank, okay,
Right.
that motion has been made and seconded, so call the question, call a vote on that, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
Any recusals? Any abstentions?
Wait, one recusal, one.
Was that recusal or abstention?
Extension.
Or abstention?
Both abstention. I didn't, Tom, did we get Tom? on?
Tom, are you?
I want to do it voice.
Voice vote having been requested.
Oh,
Justin,
Pat,
Yes.
Alana,
Yes.
Pearl,
Staying.
Dan,
yes.
Tom,
Yes.
I vote yes. Leffler,
Yes.
Joel,
yes.
Beverly,
No.
Alex.
Yes.
Zach,
Yes.
motion passes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Back to Dan's summary, and we still have to eventually get the.
Yeah.
I'm working to it was a financial, it's we have some questions still. That needs to be answered.
a second on that? Hearing none, right? Go ahead.
So what I would say is, I would motion for us to adopt the financials, in lieu of ensuring that we can figure out, you know, the process. $18,000.
What was the word you used, that?
In lieu.
So, if anyone else wants a second, then.
Second.
Okay, so we're adopting this subject to clarification on the 18 that Dan has identified. Once that's clarified with Michael, these are both on the website. That's the motion. It's been made and seconded.
I will draw my motion.
All those in favor? Aye.
Okay, so, are you done with your summary?
No, hang on. Any opposed, any recusals, any abstentions? Hearing none, the motion passes.
We do need to vote on, the banking statements. So, I know that we just passed these around, due to security issues. We've opted not to share these virtually, so, has everyone taken a glance at these and are we ready to vote on this?
I'm just not sure what are you
We
voting?
just need
I
to-
don't think we need to vote to approve.
Our auditor.
Say that
I
again.
just wanted to make sure that when we do our, meetings, that we review our banking statements and we.
Well, it's not approval, just it's an acknowledgement that they've been.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a weird thing to.
Yeah. I mean, that's your,
On, no,
I'm not being negative, I'm just saying, like, it'll all up. You're the treasurer.
I have no issues with it. I'm just following up on the.
Well, they really didn't present your audit yet either, and maybe they'll have it spelled out more on what they're looking at. I think they were just looking for.
all years for good financial controls, but I don't get it.
The conversation that I had was before the review. And
I can't see it, it's just numbers.
But he did what he did
Come on, there's no next to it.
okay, moving on.
I don't know what to do with it.
Everyone reviewed it, we can leave it at that.
Okay, any questions for Dan?
Yep, I do. So on the income side, there's a $5,000 services for water company. We haven't gotten any shot of us getting that, Michael.
I have, a question regarding that too.
Go. Look on the first page, on the income side. One, two, three, the fourth one up, $5,000. We haven't paid anything from them.
So last year, I thought we had discussed that, we wanted the water company to pay this monthly. So far for the year, we haven't received anything.
I'll have to look this. Definitely.
What's wrong? What's going on? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, sewer, is up by $8,000. Huh?
What else do we?
Will we get that back or no?
I'm not sure.
It's the zoning and sewer use.
I'm trying to get it changed to now from a golf course, you know, that it's greenway. Hopefully they'll consider the recreation area that it is.
With no toilets. Okay, equipment leasing. We got $10,000. So, when we lease equipment for almost 11,000, and 17. That's where that just shouldn't be on that line, it should be someplace else. It is,
Actually, the one, the Adams,
What?
the 171 Adams, the equipment leasing.
No, that's not 171 Adams, that's,
United Renting.
United Rental. That was to rent the bulldozer, the skid steer,
okay. We didn't have a budget.
for the pool.
Okay. We got that. The next one is data communication services, we're over like $5,000. 10 to 5. Anything on that one?
That was the gym reader, and, it's listed as a gym reader in the, the gym scan reader,
Oh, okay.
but I don't. Is that reader functioning now, or?
That was for the beams, the beam that goes to the fire goes across the, top of the entertaining.
So yes, it's fine.
Yes.
Okay, so which is was the budget, which is fine.
No, there was an issue because of the sunlight coming into the gym. It was messing with
It
the
messes
beam.
with the beam,
Understood.
so they had to get a different.
What's a one-time?
We had building repairs. We budgeted 6, so any bit of that new, that basketball courts outside
It
or?
had some of that, it didn't, yes. I
And
could drill down further on it, I'm just looking to get it open.
then I got the janitorial services were over budget.
Joel, did you review my email?
No, he didn't.
I didn't, I got it left at 6:38, I was at a concert. And
No,
I didn't review it, so.
that's what we're all kind of like, Joel.
Okay, if you did, if you got it.
No, it's in an email, all of these
Yeah, all
questions, Dan's got in an email.
Perfect.
That 18,000,
Uh-huh.
some of that had to do with that discussion, which I'm sure it's all gonna tie together with your discussion.
Understood,
I just
I'm with
didn't
you.
get it until 8 o'clock this morning.
Understood, I'm with you, okay.
The other one that was in there, Joel, was the retaining wall block.
Yeah, I saw that, that one I remember seeing.
I just thought that we had all the material for that, and then we only needed to buy about 40 more blocks, but
Lots of.
according to the expense, we bought a lot more. So, I don't know.
Okay, other questions? So all those questions that Joel and Dan have together are gonna be part of, yeah, we reviewed with Michael. Wow, okay, and once we have that
966.
yeah, that question solved, we'll publish these to the website, okay. Move on, water company, we don't have a representative here unfortunately, but if there was a representative, I could predict the words would be rate case, rate case, rate case, and rate case, right?
And meters.
I mean, it's, yes.
Okay.
No meters.
I'm joking, but for the community, really, there's ongoing review, rate case submitted by the water company. Michael's been working on that. I just happen to know that. We do have 2 members of our board who sit on the water. Else that you guys know of. Michael, and you know that you wanted to update the community.
Joel had sent the board, the water company board. That has been forwarded to me to, answer those questions for you. However, rate case.
Understood.
I'm hoping to get to it this week,
No problem,
so we can get those answers.
thank you.
And the rent, thought that was coming through, but we'll pay the water company will pay their past due rent.
Then we also get some.
Except if you send in us eviction notice. Zach, did you get an eviction notice?
No. Get some postage too, 'cause I know you get your lot. But you do that at the end of the year.
And once the postage is approved in the rate case. Get that, but that's all those postage adjustments take care of. As she did when you were treasurer, that gets taken care of at the end of the year. Where we had been asked to take care of it monthly.
Mhm.
We once we're through, I haven't had time to do. it.
Understand. Okay.
Okay. Question on the water company. All right, let's move on to the committee reports. Joel, you're first, so please, just a quick one, please.
Okay.
Tab 3, your board votes.
I think Chris is first. Was it me?
Oh, two.
Okay, yeah.
Lake and Pool. Thank you.
I'm lost. Well, in the lakes, we've done the C-SLAP testing at that second go round, and the C-SLAP testing, we tested at Treasure, and thank you, Roman. We tested at Treasure, we tested at Lake Louise, we'll be testing the water there every month, probably. Fall, we released our fish, we released about 400 pounds of bait fish into Lake Louise, we also released 300 catfish into Lake Louise and 300 catfish into Treasure. Let's see what else, the water level is down on Treasure, hopefully with more rain, it'll come up. Davies is a disaster with growth, we'll do something to look at, and that's about it, that's all that happened there.
Okay, and sorry, everybody, I screwed up putting the board book together. It's actually tab 4, that's why Joel. And at tab 3 will be Chris's.
There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's not my finest one, but, all right. Going to the pool.
Yep. The pool was easy. We had a meeting on Monday, but no one showed up. So we had one person that said she tried getting on, but she couldn't. So I'm sorry about that. If that happens again, please phone me and try and get you on. The pool, I think Maggie's made an amazing job with changing things around. I think the people are on. I think the lifeguard chair is good. I noticed she fixed the hand railing and stuff. So thank you. So things are looking good at the pool. So that's it.
Okay. Questions for Joel on lakes or pool? Great. There's no bylaws committee meeting. That committee will meet as and when. So if folks have ideas or think we want to go over, let us know. Michael, a couple that I imagine we will take up probably in the early fall around how we deal with paper lots, and we have a lot of lots that have fallen into arrears with the tax authorities, and so want to figure out what to do with those, because while our bylaws restrict us from just outright buying real estate without a 2/3 vote of the membership, we want to be able to try to seize those opportunities when they're really pennies on the dollar, so that we can, it's a development protected move. But just a preview of stuff we're going to work on in the fall. So that's it for bylaws. Earl, there was no oversight
No,
this month, but do you know when your next meeting will be?
third weekend, third Tuesday of August, I had a notification from like 5 of the core people said it just.
Strategic planning and finance, that's tab 5, I hope. Chris and Joel and I met with one other member of the community, and the main topic of discussion was, as we already talked about a little bit, the Greenway, and really securing that, locking it down as a first step. So that's trail cams, that is the fencing that we just approved. And then we talked a little bit about sort of what are the next steps to really get that to be usable for people. So we're gonna try to use the nicer weather that remains in the summer and fall, once we get the security pieces in place, to go out and just with flag sticks mark trails where we think those should be. We talked in the past about using a landscape architect to help us, and the feeling was in the discussion in the meeting last week that we may just put that off for a little bit. There are probably some easy things that we can do with just volunteer power in the meantime to figure out what we want and how it's going to look. And then if we still think we need, we can bring in a landscape architect to really help us sort of lay it out a little bit better. The landscape architects are cheap, that's probably the main reason that we're putting that off to the side. Be in somewhere in the low 5 figures, but it's not. So we'll see if that's money we'll spend later. In the meantime, we're gonna see what, again, Chris is gonna create I think a calendar where we can get people to volunteer, commit some time, and we can all get together and kind of go out. See what we can do. The second thing is we continue to talk about updating it, and now we really need the rubber to meet the road, is updating the building code for E EGPOA, which hasn't been updated since 2006. So it's coming up on its 20-year anniversary, so, Michael and I are gonna sit down with, officials from the town's building department and Joel as well. But we again invite folks in the community who are architects, engineers, landscape architects, and like who have expertise in this area to really help us out. And try to update it. We're not wholesale rewriting it, we're just gonna update it where things need to be updated. I'm sure there are items in the actual real building code with, the town that have to be incorporated in as well, but we'll look at. Questions? All right, and Lisa, I see your question in the chat, but we're gonna do the member questions at the end as is tradition. Okay, events and welcoming. Chris? Someone?
Okay.
You guys are having an amazing summer.
Last meeting, we had the learn how to fly fish, the donut drop-in, and local Olympics, trivia nights, and tennis tournaments. All these events went really well. A big thank you to everybody who continues to volunteer month after month for over a year. Karen and Al Blocker, Sharon, Carla, Mark Hanneman, Chris and Amanda, Lee, Donna, Carol, and a special thanks to the office for Val, Anthony, and Brett for staying and helping us with that. These things would not happen without the volunteers who take time from their own schedules to make these things happen. Looking forward to next month. Water aerobics are continuing on Wednesdays and Sundays. Yoga is continuing on Saturdays. The yard sale is this weekend, continuing through today. There is a learn to plant microgreens class, which does require a sign up. The sign up will be sent out again on Monday. There's another donut drop-in on Sunday, the 28th. There is a kids friendship bracelet making class scheduled for Saturday, August 3rd. The cabaret is coming back Saturday, August 17th. Book club is having a meeting in August. The pickleball tournament, which is currently on the calendar, is going to be rescheduled. And the company night, is that in the works or?
Yes.
Okay.
Brittany and I have been working with a member of the community to Comedy Night, which is currently tentatively scheduled for Sunday, August 4th at 7:30 at the clubhouse. Be a great night. I think that he's trying to put together a slate of several comedians. We will send out more information to the community about that in the next week or two. There probably will be an RSVP because there's limited capacity at the clubhouse and but we're really excited about this and thanks to Craig Others been working to organize this. Craig came to us with this idea and I think it's awesome. It could be a cool new addition to us.
Cool, they did.
The trophies for the pickleball.
You gotta ask Lee. Lee got the budget. Does she give out a trophy? You?
She does.
Okay, there you go. Got that.
Well, I did it
Yeah.
He takes it very, very.
He's the right person.
Okay.
So I get more interest in Trivia Pursuit. They don't give a trophy, but they give a gift card to Duchess. So.
Yeah, Chris has been running a great trivia night,
That's
so if you
valid.
wanna do that, it's getting very popular. It's
Yeah.
very, he has thematic, nights depending on what week of the
Tough
year.
questions.
Yeah, tough
Tough
questions.
questions.
Very good.
Dan,
Walk in the park.
I don't wanna add more work to the events committee or anything, but maybe we can put something on the radar. We got Christmas coming up. It'd be nice to be able to put, maybe movie nights or something entertaining for the kids. Maybe get the fire trucks here, the Santa Claus. If we can make something like that happen, that would be great.
So the structure of events, how we always run it, everybody who I just thanked has spearheaded an event, so. The reason why the pickleball and tennis tournaments are so successful is because that's Lee's baby and she takes charge of it. We might do the minutia of like running the yard sale stuff, but if you are a person who wants to run that and make it something and you have a vision of what that should be, make the subcommittee, bring it to us, and we are happy to give you free reign of that. We can only do it in a certain way because we're not particularly attached to something like that, but the people who come and organize it, we let them do that. So if that's something that you want to come The reason why I say that is there's nobody within the committee right now who has attached themselves to those events that we put out.
Nobody has
No,
thought about doing anything for Christmas.
no. So if there's a group, I'm putting that out to everybody, the community that wants to do that, please step forward, reach out to Chris or I, we'd be happy to make a subcommittee for you to organize that.
Okay, anything else? All right, oh, that's it for our committee meetings. All right, our next meeting is Sunday, August 18th. That is our annual meeting and election of directors. 2 points. First of all, resumes, please, by the 31st of July for anybody who would like to run for the board. We have 3 seats that are opening, and 3 board members who are eligible to run for re-election, but have not indicated yet whether they are. So they are also welcome to please submit the resumes. And the other thing is that this will be, like we did with the test vote last month, it's going to be a wholly electronic vote. Unless you'd like to request a paper ballot in the office, I think the notice went out that you can request it up to the Friday before, so that would be the 16th. So by August 16th, if you want a paper ballot, you have to go to the office, get it. You'll also have to return that either to the office or in person before the meeting on the 18th at 9 a.m. Otherwise, everything is wholly electronic. You'll get an email from Vote HOA Now, as long as you have an updated email with the office. If you don't have that piece updated, make sure you do, otherwise you're at a 0 balance, right? So it's members in good standing. And you'll get an email from Vote HOA Now that tells you where to register, and then it takes really like 2 or 3 minutes for those of us who did it the last time. Super, super easy. I'm really happy to see we increased engagement over our prior election, prior votes by doing this online. So I hope to see more folks turn in. That's, by the way, the director of election is the only thing that's on for this annual meeting. There's no budget, again, just for newer members. There's a second annual meeting in November when annual budget will be voted on. We don't have any bylaws questions that are for vote this time around. So it should be just quick, straightforward. Chris?
Can I just ask a question about that? So, last year there was some churn in the community about people, upset that they didn't receive ballots. And I'm just wondering what the communication is for people who may have a balance and not realize they have a balance. Is there some kind of is there a way to communicate that basically, if you didn't receive this email, please call the office to resolve outstanding balances? Because I'm worried about people who have, $5 balance and just didn't realize it.
There's some statements every month. We email statements and send statements every.
Maybe just
So-
next. Please clear up all balances that may pertain to you, this may not, but in the event that you have any balance, you won't receive a ballot.
I'm with them on this, just maybe seems like a small extra effort just to clarify people to, I mean, the goal here is to get more people to, first of all, clear the balance of the vote. So if we can just send out a quick email, maybe in the next couple of weeks, suggesting like.
Yeah, that's easy. I can work with Brittany on that, but get that out as a standalone email.
I have one thing.
Yeah, please.
So you will not get your email registration for Vote HOA Now until we have the ballots finished, which won't be until after the resumes are due. Can't send you if I don't have a ballot. So that's just, I got a few
Right.
emails saying that they never.
So we'll send that clarifying email out this week. But beyond that, I mean, folks, you gotta know to pay your bills.
Have we received any resumes?
No, 0.
Like, that's all.
Well, no, it's a little bit of time, but that's why we're making a call.
And it's summertime.
The other thing is, once we hit the 31st and we know what the pool looks like, we'll schedule meet the candidate events. We'll do 2 of them between the 31st of July and August 18th. Probably we'll do one here on a Sunday morning, kind of coincidental when we normally do our meetings. Then maybe another one on a weeknight by Zoom only. Trying to figure out where we can get, more times and more people to get involved. Okay. All right. with that, let's move to the member questions. If you guys in the room, if you want to ask questions, just raise your hand and I'll go to the Zoom as well. If you have any questions, members, you want to raise your hand, just there are 14 participants online, probably 5 of which are board related. So if you want to just unmute and ask a question, that's fine. Lisa had a question in the chat about ATVs still running on Old Sackett Road on a regular basis. Not as many before, but there is a group of about 4 or 5 rides through here regularly. How can we keep them from using the greenway? That's a great question. That's what we were talking about a little bit earlier in the management section in the strategic planning and finance committee update. We're really trying to secure that area as a first step. So the board has today approved a budget for installing fencing and gates, as well as a number of trail cams and a security system that'll go in. So we attack that problem. Okay.
But she should call the police. She should call the police if she sees people riding Old Sackett.
Yeah, and obviously that's great advice, Joel. If you see ATVs that are not supposed to be on the road, feel free to call the police, call the sheriff's office. Jose, I think that's you, city track. You can unmute. Jose?
Can you hear me? Yeah, can you hear me? Just bad reception where I'm at right now. First, I just want to start by saying thank you, everyone on the board, for all the work you do. And obviously, on behalf of all the homeowners with all the issues going on ATV, this is great news to hear that you guys approved everything there. I think it would be, it's going to be a great move. And I think you guys are going to be really impressed with the teams we're going to be able to set up as volunteers to get this going. On another note, Dan, Alana, do you guys still hold the Halloween party?
Jose, since you were off the board, no, you did the Halloween parties, right?
Yeah, so when I was on the, running the entertainment committee and everything, we would do the Halloween party and, as Dan stated, the holiday party, both of them for our, winter, fall and winter events were the largest, the Halloween being the biggest. One year we, recorded nearly 200, children and parents come through because we set up the clubhouse as a haunted house. We had a company come in and do an entire walkthrough and everything. We had the hayride Michael set up with carriage, and everything. So it turned out real nice. My point is, if it's not happening, 2 things. One, I would be willing to, help out to get that Halloween party. Dan, if you're willing to jump in on the holiday party, the thing I would ask is that we do it. I always did it as a donation. In other words, we collected toys from the community, donated to United Ways or something. I think we should continue that. It's an amazing thing to do, and I had the opportunity one year of seeing children get those toys. And I just think that's what we should be doing. So again, I would step up to those 2, with Dan helping me out on a holiday, but I would like to ask the board that we do something along the lines of collecting and donating. Yep.
Jose, can you, I'll give you my email address, just send me an email and we'll start on this right away.
Yeah, definitely. Okay.
I'll put you 2 guys in contact, okay?
Yeah, now, as far as the Halloween, I could tell you that there was a cost of setting up, having a company come and set up. We had party masters and all of them. It was always under $3,000. I don't know what they would charge now, but I'm telling you, it was an amazing event to see all those children show up and walk through, because we were doing head counts 2 years in a row to see how they were. And that was a humongous event in the fall.
That's great. I'm in favor of it.
Jose, Brittany just reconciled our budget, so Chris and I can let you guys know once you have met with each other what your budget can be for those.
Yeah, I think that just to underscore Alana's point, we have the annual meeting next month. Once we have the annual meeting, we reform our committees, and events usually meets either we'll meet in September at some point, show up at the meeting, make your pitch. We'll talk about the money that's left for this year, and we'll go from there. But it's a volunteer-led committee, and people want to do stuff. You got to show up and do it.
Dan, be your sub guy. I work for you.
You got it.
All right, I'm connecting you guys by email right now. Mr. Tucker.
Actually, she has to go to church. And
Oh,
I apologize.
I'm sorry. I didn't-
She can go first and then you go.
said-
I just heard it, so.
Go ahead.
Really quickly, so the town of Thompson garbage truck, I'm talking about the cleanup, I think the community day cleanup. I have two questions. Can we do that like maybe once every 2 months or just in terms of volunteering? Whoever wants to do it, like wants to show up and clean up? Because on Old Sackett Road, from primarily the way everyone was discussing the dumping, there's a lot of dumping. Excuse me. Aside from just garbage dumping, there's a lot of, contractor dumping, there's a lot of landscaping. And then someone just has like a ton of cat litter specifically, that they're just, I mean, tons of cat litter. They're just dumping. I know this because I walk, winter walk. Love it back. So I walk the trail, I walk up, that area, and I generally walk the community. So that is an area, there's, wheelchairs. I think the toilet bowls are gone.
So are the refrigerators.
The refrigerators are. So I ended up speaking with, Alan. He walks all the time. So we were talking on a community cleanup. And he said, he'll try to see if he can call this to see if the town of Thompson and grab it. They did. That stuff is gone. And then 3 weeks later, there was more stuff. So. You think about putting
We should mention as well, with the cameras will be signs.
Notice, yeah.
And it may be worth a couple of no dump.
Yeah, that was gonna make.
It would also help. You let the people doing remodeling their homes to tell the contractor, hey. You can't dump back there, you have to take it with you.
But I
And it's in
think,
the budget, their budget.
It is.
but I think at some point, there's the opportunity, you meet with DOB. And they'll help provide some additional context when we have to go back to our laws from community perspective. If they can actually, they'll contact, building department will come out. We can take up some
I
of
don't know if
those.
it's coming. I've seen vehicles.
Touche, and there's no way you can stop.
Just. If we're just diligent, unfortunately, it's a little diligent and I just, and just took a quick video. of 2 or 3 trucks. The same 2 or 3 truck. Dumping. It's really important because you don't wanna, we pay a lot of dues and we want our neighborhood to be nice. And, there just seems to be no way around people coming and dumping, even in the vacant, paper lot or, tax lots that.
Would you be willing
You
to
have
share
the
the
video.
video?
I have the video.
Discuss you with you in an executive session.
Okay.
So there's no issue.
Yeah, because someone apparently owns the property and I think, my thing is, if this were Beverly Hills. Think about it, this is Beverly Hills and someone in Beverly Hills, all of us own houses on the same stretch, just like it is now. This one lot in Beverly Hills is empty. No one would be able to say, I own the lot, so I can put all of my garbage there. They would just not have it.
And it would not fit with the
It-
rules.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and also the other thing I just wanted to bring up, I remember when I signed the waiver for the pool.
Mhm.
What I understood is that if swimmers are in one lane. That one lane is sort of with what are those buoys, the buoys, the rope, just that one lane. Is dedicated to the swimmer and they have that lane and the kind of the right of way and they can just do their lap. And then, cause yes, I was there and I like to do a lap or 2 before I go play, but just to have it, just that one, I don't know if we need. Like you were saying, FBI enforcement, you can't be there, but just if that one, boy is up. And that swimmer has the right of way for that time, then.
That's how we were trying to manage it. Unfortunately, so many people there we've had a number of
Mix.
conflicts recently. And so we're trying this new way to try to deal with that, because people aren't sharing as easily as we would have thought, so.
Oh,
Yeah, so they're,
Thank you for taking my.
Thank
And
appreciate it. Yeah,
I'm waiting for my hair to grow back.
yeah.
all right, thank you. You ready, sir? Mr. Tucker?
Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Tucker.
Good morning. My name is Tucker. In 1986, I built my house on Piccadilly Court. My kids have been lifeguards here when we have. I've got some problems that have been coming year after year. The all-terrain vehicles, the dirt bikes, the Jeeps. Nothing I can do about it unless you let me put a barbed wire on our property that we bought. We'll put up fencing, we'll bring a logger in to chop trees down and block every possible entrance by these recreational vehicles. See what you can do about it. This morning, lucky I buy a lot of Poland Spring water, because I had to go through 6 2-gallon jugs to shower, and I didn't even rinse them. In the last year or so, Mr. Hoyt, you and I stood on my front lawn just before your father passed. And you were looking into, maybe we could put up a tank somewhere. The 9 or 10 new homes that have gone up on Piccadilly Circle and Piccadilly Court. Girls, close your ears. Anybody could urinate with more pressure. It's getting that bad. I'm not a geologist, I'm not an engineer, but something should be done by people who know how to correct this situation.
Pass that on to the water company, Bill.
And I'd like to keep
And when you have a problem, you have to let us know,
I got the problem.
okay? You have to let Alan even know, because when we go out and meet with you guys, and I was there a few weeks ago with your wife.
Congratulations.
She's a sweet woman, I have no idea why. You just got, I know you think you're complaining and we need that statistic,
So can I just-
even an email.
Share a thought on this? I know he brought this up at the prior.
That was for a different.
Water pressure. He brought up
No,
water.
that was a different issue.
We just,
Okay.
so earlier,
I know that, you know, there's thoughts about doing the tank and this and that, but in the interim, if there's a lot of people in his area that are sharing the same thoughts. You know that the expense could be substantial if you have to do it to every one of them, but we could put pressure tanks in those individual houses. That would bump up the water pressure just for that specific house.
I hate to punt on this, but this is wholly a water company issue. We don't manage the.
I don't know whether that will increase the cubic, however, of water,
It would help your situation.
whatever the
Okay.
people, I'm not here to tell anyone, I'm just giving an issue. And the last thing, which I know may not be within your realm. Michael, you would know better than anyone. Last year, they put in a house right next to me. It is still unoccupied. But somehow, wrong instructions were given when they wanted to put in the sewer and water. And they took up half of Piccadilly Court to put the pipes in. They were wrong, they covered it, they moved the hole over. And now, when you pull into Piccadilly Court,
it's like riding on the ocean. You've got waves going up and down. Stopped at the town of Thompson, a highway department. Never catch the superintendent of highways. But I think if the town of Thompson received a letter from Emerald Green, someone should come and inspect that part of the highway, it's town highway, and get that corrected, because it was left up to private contractors who did not give a hoot.
We'll take that up, with management. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Tucker.
I want to thank you all. I think you're doing a marvelous job. And I wish you all good health.
Same to you.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning.
All right, any other questions online? Lisa, I see your comment, I'll just read it out. I don't think it's fair to put use on the lap lanes, people have different schedules. Okay, noted. Any other questions or comments?
I have one more thing I wanted to share. Exit 111 is slated, Wolf Lake. Exit 111 is slated to close. There's a petition going around and I wanted to mention it here. You're bringing up people's file for it. If I can, leave it here. Because if we don't get enough signatures, they'll close exit, the Wolf Lake exit. Does anyone use it? I know a lot of us here in Emerald Green use it. And they're gonna close it apparently because it doesn't have a way out and a way in.
Doesn't have another one. on the other side.
Deceleration,
Thank you.
there isn't one.
Right, so, but exit 114 had the same issue. And the town of Mamakating, they got together, they got enough signatures, and it's still open. They didn't close it. That has nothing to do with us per se, that
Do you know the signature?
That is,
I
they've
have-
been around for years. Okay, well, that's the situation that you're talking about. How long was Annie there?
Huh?
30 years?
but now it's actually.
Where the gas station is.
But it was Exxon?
No, yeah, whatever.
So I have if you, sorry to cut you, I have the form if you want me to. That we can possibly.
Yeah, my God, is that a thing we can do?
I don't want to see it.
Just because I know a lot of people in Amber use that. I know what it's.
I would get a digital. Okay, so we email it out.
Well, that's why Annie sold it. I didn't want it.
Hold on.
It's some order. So what exactly are you asking?
Just to give information to everyone in Emerald Green, because exit 111 is definitely the highways, has nothing to do, I didn't think that Thompson or anything. It's 17, the state highway.
So,
I will.
so we'll do that here in this meeting now, and when this gets put onto the YouTube, but why don't you direct folks where they can find your petition and when they can sign?
I will get that for you right now.
And while you're working on that, I believe some of it pertains to the transition from 17 to 86. They're only allowed a certain amount of exits, so at least one of them is going to end up closing. So they're gonna be 110 or 111. There's no way.
Well, I mean, they're gonna do a traffic study, so.
This is years
Yeah,
and
this
years.
has been in a place, and I only know because it's $120 million just to do a couple of different exits between here and Mount King. Yeah, I don't know if there's much we can do about it, so.
Yeah, so I would direct people if they wanna sign the petition to where she wants to go.
Been going on for 30 years.
Yeah, look, if you find the website, and you can announce it out, that's fine.
Okay,
And
yeah,
then we'll close our regular business and move on to our executive sessions. We
Yeah,
got,
let's do that.
well, I have it here, I'll just send it to you and then figure out the rest of it and give you the answers.
Okay.
You can read it out.
Okay, the owner of Wolf Lake Sunoco and many Wolf Lake residents, as well as, Emerald Green residents reached out to actually Terry Bernardo to, ask her about the possible closure of, New York State 17 exit 111. If you put together a petition and it can be signed, at the Wolf Lake Sunoco. And you can pick up a copy there as well if you want, to just get some signatures amongst yourself. But I'll also just print some out, send you the email, if we can just put some up here at the pool, just so so we can do our part, say that we did something. I think Exit 114 got about 35,000 signatures in order for it to stay open, the town of Miami.
Just because it's kind of our policy as a board not to necessarily, we stay within our lane of the HOA and not advertise or not push petitions for one cause or another. More than happy to give out the address if there's like a change.org thing, but I don't think we're gonna be able to put them in
Okay.
place around. But I get what you're saying, 35,000, well, that's a lot.
Yeah, especially, I don't even know if that's
Except at 114, doesn't that take you into,
Wolf Lake Sunoco. It's just,
No,
that I know it's something that Emerald Green,
Yeah,
residents actually use.
no, I totally understand. It doesn't seem too controversial, but then again, we're not making judgments about which ones are not controversial. We have other petitions that folks want to bring that a little more, and so we try to stay away from all of those things and stay in our HOA. Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
Seeing no other questions online, can I get a motion to go into executive? Session? Seconded, all in favor, aye. Any opposed, or abstaining, any abstention, hearing none. All right, we're gonna go into executive session, so. There is no one in the room, who's not a board member or management, and those who are online, with the exception of Tom Gins, I'll ask you to log off now. We can go into the executive session.
I'm gonna stop the recording.